So let's go out to Aishah Hasnie, who's in Geneva. President Trump makes his way there after a few hours of sleep, perhaps, because there was a little incident. There was a little fun on the White House lawn. And now he's off to the G7 to meet you, Aishah.
I was going to say, he might actually still be awake watching you guys in this coverage here. But yes, he is heading here to Switzerland. He'll land here in Geneva sometime today. And he is landing here in a very interesting situation because, remember, all of the G7 leaders, none of them supported this Iranian conflict. They pushed and pushed for diplomacy. And now the president can come here and see them face to face and say, look what I got them to agree to. In the meantime, though, the European leaders have two other issues on top of mind outside of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The president took off overnight from Joint Base Andrews, and there is a lot on the table as soon as he arrives in Evian-les-Bains in France. We are told that he will address economic growth, illegal immigration, and artificial intelligence, among other things. He also is going to meet one-on-one with the leaders of Egypt and Qatar and the UAE on the sidelines of the summit this week. But the Russia war against Ukraine and the Gaza rebuilding is on top of mind for these G7 leaders. In fact, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky posted on X yesterday that he spoke with President Trump on his birthday, and he had one wish for him, that we may finally achieve peace, he said, and achieve this success together with the U.S. and all of our partners. He says the two men will discuss more at this summit. Now, security is very, very high here in the area around Evian. Some 16,000 French police and troops are deployed in that area. Over the weekend here in Geneva, shops and hotels that were boarded up, protests kicked off. The AP reports the French and Swiss are actually bringing back pandemic-like border restrictions amid fears of violence. You'll remember back in 2003, violent protesters smashed storefronts during the G8 summit. The president, of course, says there will be a signing here in Geneva of that Iran framework agreement. The vice president told Fox News last night that he plans to be here, but in fact, it might be President Trump that attends this signing. Brian?
Well, thanks so much, Aishah. A lot going on, and there's a lot of unscripted conversations. Where have the other guys been during this entire conflict? And also, where do we go from here? I love the way everyone's chiming in, like, we're ready to help now. Thanks. Appreciate it. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance was on over the weekend. He's making the rounds not only for his book, but he's leading negotiations. And many people think he will sign off on this deal if it's ready to go over the next few days.
Yeah, and he did say we're still trying to work out the arrangements. He said, I'll either be going. I'm planning to go. The president himself might go, too. But he did want to thank the American people for being patient. Listen.
I guess my primary message to the American people is thank you. Because of your patience, I think that we've solved the problem that has plagued this country again for well before I was even born, which is a terrorist supporting Iran that was pursuing a nuclear weapon. We are now at a place here where we can say with confidence they're not going to get a nuclear weapon. This is just a great thing for the American people. I know that they've suffered from high gas prices. The president has certainly been very concerned about that fact. But what we're going to be able to do is drive down the cost of energy, not just now, but for the long term, and create a real engine of prosperity in the Middle East where Americans benefit from those lower energy prices, lower gas prices, and we don't have the same risk of chaos that we've had for the last generation.
Yeah, it's obviously something that we've talked about on the program. A lot of the Iranians did not have a great military to go against us. And so the only weapon that they could use is to impact the global oil supply. Now, the administration was able to take some of that oil and reroute it, but there was some impact on the American people. The way I look at this deal is you got the president of the United States that's essentially putting Iran in a cage. They're in a cage. He has disrupted the nuclear program. The military is destroyed. We've gone through what happened to their Navy. The question is, and I'm not so worried about under his administration right now because I believe they understand who they're dealing with. He's gotten the Arab world on this side. The Gulf states is on our sides right now. So they understand that they don't want to try anything with him. The question is, who's the next president after him? And will they make sure that they keep certain measures in place to keep Iran in that cage? And we don't know who that is.
So important. Yeah, the tentative deal with Iran, it's already sent stocks soaring. The oil prices, we showed you on your screen, the oil prices fell more than $4 a barrel. And they're saying, the analysts are saying it might take months to completely stabilize. But the news of this deal, it's a huge relief for all markets across the world. Stocks are rallying in Asia already. The Nikkei gained 5%.
Right. So we'll see what happens. J.D. Vance, who's pretty well known, was not for this conflict. I mean, for the most part, he had a lower profile for a while, but now he's moving forward to try to bring it to a close. We don't know anything about ballistic missiles yet, and we don't know about funding proxies. I don't know if that's going to be part of this deal. So he's going to be coming up with us, talking about his new book and more things tomorrow, and it'll be in the 8 o'clock hour. And he'll be on with Sean tonight, right?
He'll be on with Sean tonight. Yep.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.